Well, folks, for
Go
19
ahead.
months, we have seen the Toronto Police Service absolutely ignore the rule of law when it comes to that group. I call them the Hamasholes. These are the people who are pro-Hamas. They chant genocide. They display swastikas. Some of them cosplay as Sinwar, the mastermind of October 7th, 2023, largest group of Jews killed post-Holocaust. And nothing is done. Well, that's not completely true. Independent journalists are arrested. Peaceful counter demonstrators are arrested. On cold days, sometimes the cops re-envision themselves as Uber Eats drivers and deliver them coffee and Timbits. And this has been going on week after week, month after month. It's usually the same losers, an apt word that Sheila uses. I don't think they have jobs, but they're getting paid by somebody. I'll tell you that much. They are well funded. And I think we have some reports right now of, the police are not even hiding the fact that they're taking sides. There's a story right now of a Toronto police document where it accuses Israel of ethnic cleansing. What the blue hell? We also know a couple of months ago, 2 senior Muslim officers at the Toronto Police Service did a podcast where they said the silver lining of the October 7th massacre is that it's inspiring more people to convert to Islam. Now, that's since been torn down, but that went right through the chief's office, make no mistake. And now we have an incident. Our wonderful friend at the Toronto Sun, Joe Warmington, writes about this. The pro-Hamas demonstration prevented an ambulance carrying an 8-year-old child to hospital. They would not make way. Now, here's the other thing, Sheila, and it goes back to what they always say about Watergate. It's not so much the crime, it's the cover-up. In this case, it's both the crime and the cover-up. The police said, it wasn't a life-threatening event. Well, it turns out they didn't know that. They weren't in touch.
How would they know?
They didn't know. Secondly, they said, if it had its light bar on, then we would have created a pathway through the mob, and that's what these people are. It's a mob. Too bad for video evidence, Sheila, because the light bar, and I think super producer Efren has it there.
Look at that.
I see lights. It looks lit up like a Christmas tree. It was also, according to Joe Warmington's column, they were making the whoop whoop siren sound. And there it is. How dare the Toronto police not only turn a blind eye to enforcing the law and ignoring the Criminal Code of Canada, but now they lie about their actions. And there you go. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. I think a video, Sheila, is worth 1,000,000 words. And the Toronto police have no idea, and I'm speaking to the brass now, of what you have done to your branding. Sheila, I am not kidding. Given their actions of almost 2 years now on this file, I have met family members and friends who now, I don't do this, I still back the blue. I know I'll get heat for that because without the cops, we have the rule of the jungle, we have chaos. But they refer to the cops as pigs. They are sick and tired of this shite show happening every weekend and sometimes more than every weekend. And here's my question to our audience, Sheila, and to you. If the last 19 months, if this mob was chanting death to blacks, death to Indians, death to gays, do you think the Toronto Police Service would tolerate this for one demonstration? Do you think so? So why the double standard? Why is it okay to chant genocide to the Jewish people, but if it was any other identity, it would be shut down immediately? This is shameful policing, Sheila.
How do you trust the cops who will testify in court when they flat out lie like this? How do you trust them to properly fill out a statement, to accurately record the details of your crime, to act on the crime that you are reporting when they will lie about this? they decided to even, like, they posted a statement to their social media pages that said an individual was taken to the hospital by ambulance. It was an 8-year-old. Paramedics took an alternative route to avoid demonstrators. No, they were forced to, because it is quite literally the police's job to clear a route for an ambulance. That's their job. The individual's
video
life.
Evidence, and thanks to Steve at Documenting Reality for filming that, because you don't think the mainstream media is going to do their job and deliver this kind of exposure, because they're kind of on Team Hamas, as is the mayor, as is the chief, as is many members of the brass. And this
is a disgrace. If I were the parent of this kid,
disgrace.
If I were the parent of this kid, I would be off the rev limiter. This statement is galling. We work closely with paramedics to ensure emergency access is maintained. No, the whole point was that emergency access was not maintained.
Yep.
And this is from the same people who said the convoy was blocking ambulances. Not even once. They kept a lane open. But an 8-year-old had to go the long way to the hospital because genocidal lunatics are running the streets in Toronto, and the police are perfectly fine with this. In fact, the police have a document which accuses Israel of ethnic cleansing. So when you think that this is just a one-of event where they got it wrong this one time, sorry, but we've got a few too many things, one-ofs, adding up to indicate a pattern.
And Sheila, it's not a one-off. There was an almost identical situation in that vicinity of downtown Toronto involving an ambulance that had to get to the hospital with a patient. And because the pro-Hamas people, it's 3:15, time to pray. That's fine. I enshrine your right to pray. And by the way, there was a mosque 5 minutes away. No, we're going to pray on the street. We are going to block the roads to emergency vehicles. And in the aftermath, the Toronto Police Service and the City of Toronto said they have a constitutional right to pray, which is true. You do not have a constitutional right to block the streets. Right. Absolutely, you do not. So stop lying and stop supporting this terrorist group.
Let's go to the Daily Cringe.
What a disgrace. Look at
this. This is terrible.
And if I'm there filming that, like I tried to last March, I get arrested. What's the charge? Obstruction. Yeah.
Right.
Me obstructing a prayer service on a public street. That's obstruction. Nothing gets through, not even a bicycle.
Yeah. Demke should be fired. Completely fired.
No,
this is an absolute disgrace.
He's doing the mayor's bidding. Remember, this is a mayor that didn't even bother to go to the first anniversary of October 7th.
Right.
I wonder if she'll attend the second anniversary.
I don't know. She's too busy opening up toilets.
Yeah.
Like celebrating the opening of a toilet bowl.
We vote, they ignore us. Alberta's values just don't match Ottawa's, and they never will.